I have always been fascinated by magic. When I was a child, I would spend hours watching magic shows on television trying to figure out how the tricks were done. As I got older, my interest in magic only grew. I started learning how to perform magic tricks myself, and I even became a member of a magic club. One day I saw a magic trick that I had never seen before. A magician was on stage and he had a box with a lock on it. The magician told the audience that the box was cursed, and that anyone who opened it would be cursed as well. Of course, the audience didn't believe him, so he put one of the audience members in the box and locked it. Then he left the box alone for a few minutes. When he came back, the box was empty and the audience member was nowhere to be seen. The magician was scared, so he ran off stage. The next day I went to see the magician. He was very nervous when I arrived, but he eventually agreed to show me the box. I opened the box and there was a note inside. The note said, "Do not open this box." I knew I should leave the box alone, but I couldn't resist. I wanted to see what would happen if I opened the box. As soon as I opened the box, I felt a jolt of energy. The room started to shake and the walls started to close in on me. I tried to scream, but no sound came out of my mouth. Then everything went black. When I woke up, I was in the same room, but the walls had all collapsed and the box was gone. I was also cursed because of the box. This story is about a man named Yusef who finds a scroll that contains a curse. Let's begin. His name was written in ash. It began in the narrow alleys of Fez, Morocco, where ancient walls lean in like listening ears, and the wind seems to whisper forgotten names. Yusef, a university student of history, had come to the Medina in search of rare manuscripts for his thesis on pre-Islamic North African folklore. But what he found, buried beneath centuries of dust in an abandoned Zavia, was far more than ink on paper. The scroll was brittle, its words smudged and warped. But one phrase stood out in pristine black. Ismahu Kutiba Bilramd. His name was written in ash. The rest of the parchment was indecipherable, as though time itself had tried to erase the story, and failed. That night, back in his rented room, Yusef dreamt of fire. Not metaphorical, fire real, roaring, crackling flames devouring the walls of the Medina. In the center stood a man cloaked in smoke, eyes like glowing coals. He whispered a name, but Yusef woke before he could hear it fully. On the wall opposite his bed, something had appeared, black soot in the shape of Arabic letters. His name, shaken but curious. Yusef returned to the Zavia. An old man selling tea nearby eyed him and said, "If you saw the writing, it's too late to unsee it." Yusef asked him what the phrase meant. The old man hesitated, then told him of a cursed scholar named Harun ibn Talib, who centuries ago attempted to bind a jinn known only as Al-Shatib the scribe. Harun believed if he could trap the jinn in ink and ash, he could learn the hidden names of the unseen world. But the ritual went wrong. Harun vanished, and ever since, anyone who read his final scroll had their name claimed by fire. That night Yusef tried to burn the scroll, but the fire refused to touch it. The flames danced around it, leaving it untouched in the center of the brazier. That's when he noticed his hands turning gray, dust flaking off his fingers as if he himself was becoming ash. Panic set in. He fled to a local scholar, Sheikh Amin, known for helping those afflicted by supernatural forces. The sheikh examined the scroll and paled. "You didn't just read it, you woke it." Sheikh Amin tried to help. Verses of the Quran filled the room. Incense burned, and Yusef repeated every ayah with desperate sincerity. For a while, it worked. His skin returned to normal. The soot on his walls disappeared. Peace returned for 3 nights. On the 4th night, a voice returned, clearer now. It spoke from the mirror. "Your name is almost complete." Yusef turned to the wall and saw it 4 of the 5 letters in his name, written in thick black ash. Only 1 letter remained. Sheikh Amin warned him, "If the name is ever completed, your soul belongs to him." Desperate, Yusef traveled to a remote Zavia in the high Atlas Mountains, where a pious group of elders practiced ruqya and spiritual protection. For 7 days, they prayed over him, each day erasing 1 letter, until the name was gone. He returned to Fez, thinking he was free, until he saw the final letter burned into his pillow. On the 8th night, they found his room in ruins. No blood, no signs of struggle, just a cold draft, and a single black mark on the wall, Kutiba Bilramd, and the scroll, gone. Some say it's waiting now for the next curious soul who dares to read the name written in ash. So, how do we know if we are being cursed or if a curse has already been placed on us? Sometimes we may feel like everything is going wrong. We may feel like we are being followed by bad luck. If we are constantly failing at everything we do, it might be a sign that we are being cursed. Sometimes we may find mysterious objects near us. If we find a doll with pins stuck in it or a bottle with a strange liquid inside, it might be a sign that we are being cursed. Sometimes we may experience sudden changes in our lives. If we suddenly lose our jobs or our relationships fall apart, it might be a sign that we are being cursed. If we think we might be cursed, it is important to take action. We can break the curse by performing certain rituals or seeking help from a professional. By taking action, we can protect ourselves from the evil spirits that might be trying to harm us. Now, let's get back to the story. Yusef had always been skeptical of curses. He had never experienced anything that could not be explained by science or logic. However, After reading the scroll, everything changed. He began to believe that there were forces beyond his understanding that could affect his life. This belief made him afraid. He was afraid of what might happen to him if the curse was not broken. But Yusuf was also curious. He wanted to know more about the curse and how to break it. So he decided to do research. He went to the library and read everything he could find about curses and jinns. He also spoke to experts, trying to learn everything he could about his curse. As Yusuf learned more about his curse, he became more afraid. He realized that the curse was powerful and that it could potentially destroy his life. But he also learned that there was hope. There were ways to break the curse if he could find them. Determined to break the curse, Yusuf began to take action. He performed rituals, he sought help from experts, and he did everything he could to protect himself from the evil spirit that was after him. Yusuf's journey to break the curse was long and difficult, but in the end, he was successful. He broke the curse and his life returned to normal. However, the experience changed him. He was no longer the skeptical person he had been before the curse. Instead, he was someone who believed in the power of curses and the importance of taking action to protect oneself from evil spirit. Yusuf's story is a reminder for all of us that sometimes we must take action to protect ourselves. We never know when a curse might strike us or what evil spirits might be lurking in the shadows, but if we are prepared, we can defend ourselves and those we love from harm. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe for more videos.